Ginny and Georgia is one of the best teen series streaming on Netflix, and no one is actually arguing about that. After the second season dropped at the beginning of 2023, fans are eager to know what's coming next. Keep watching to the end of this video because we're going to tell you everything we know about Ginny and Georgia Season 3, and trust us, you don't want to miss anything. Are we getting the third season? Ginny and Georgia has not been renewed for a third season yet. In an interview, the show's creator Sarah Lampert and showrunner Deborah J. Fisher addressed the question about the new season. No, there's been no talks with Netflix about Season 3. They're very regimented about how they do things. So there's very much a strategy in place where I think we'll drop it, and then we have to wait and see how it does and if we're going to see Season 3. But I certainly hope we do because it's going to be a wild ride. Netflix is known to take a while even to renew its biggest hits, but we have high hopes for the continuation of the series, which hit #1 immediately after its premiere. We gotta be honest, Season 2 is officially one of Netflix's most watched shows, with over 504 million hours watched. And as you know, viewing hours are very important metrics to Netflix. They just typically look at how many people watch a show in its first month to help decide whether to renew or cancel it, and based on Ginny and Georgia's performance, we have nothing to worry about. The stats are actually wonderful. There's more. The release of the second season led to a significant increase in people watching the first season. And this looks good to the streaming giant because it lets them know that people really enjoy the series. It could also mean the show brings in new viewers, which is something Netflix definitely wants to happen. Netflix co-CEOs Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters even name-checked Ginny and Georgia as a phenomenal US success. And if they take things as usual, we should be looking out for news around March, because the Season 2 renewal announcement came 2 months after the first season's premiere. But even if we get a quick renewal, the show will likely take a while to return. Production on Season 2 ended in April of 2022 and had to go through a lengthy post-production process before arriving in January 2023. The season itself was done by October 2022, but it takes a while for the streaming platform to translate the series into 180 different languages for its global release. Brianne Howie, an actress who plays Georgia Miller, said, "That takes about 4 months, so it's basically not the show itself. The show's done." That being said, Season 3 could arrive quicker than the 2-year gap between Seasons 1 and 2. Though the Season 2 renewal was announced in April 2021, it didn't begin filming until late November. If the show resumes filming quicker, we may see new episodes around mid to late 2024. Season 2 ending explained. During the second season of the show, Ginny and the viewers were gradually exposed to the full truth about Georgia's past. And building to the season finale, Austin witnessed Georgia suffocating Cynthia's dying husband before shooting his father Gil in the arm with one of his mother's secret guns, leaving the family to clean up the mess before Paul returns home and the police become involved. During this drama, Joe and Georgia finally confessed to knowing about their meeting those many years ago, while Joe sort of opens up about his feelings for Georgia, who unfortunately doesn't reciprocate in the way he hopes. But he knew the outcome, as it didn't look like he was waiting for positive feedback from Georgia. Georgia called the venue for her upcoming wedding and canceled the event. But Ginny was the one who encouraged her mom to tell Paul the truth about her past, so she can move past her fear, get married, and live the life she deserves. Georgia told Paul her secrets, sans the murders, and allows him to be with her or run screaming. Georgia even told him about Gil blackmailing her, and Paul sees the chance to confront Gil with a lawyer and a police officer to make it clear that he won't be allowed to blackmail Georgia or receive any financial gain from Paul's family. Paul goes on to threaten to contact Gil's parole officer and have him returned to jail, and confirms with his lawyer that they are ready to fight for custody if Gil violates their agreement. Despite this confrontation, the wedding is still scheduled to take place, but without a venue. Ginny and Georgia must therefore use their creativity to ensure that their wedding goes smoothly, since everything else has already been planned for the big day. During the wedding, private investigator Gabriel Cordova finally confesses the truth of his identity to his boyfriend Nick. Initially, Nick is shocked that Gabriel would lie about a third-grade teacher named Jessie. However, Gabriel implores Nick to hear him out, explaining that his close relationship with Georgia and Paul could potentially land him in trouble later on. As the wedding proceeds, Paul and Georgia officially tie the knot, with the series highlighting how Ginny's perception of her mother has evolved throughout the season and how the entire town has come to embrace Georgia as one of their own, contributing to the success of the event. However, the moment of joy is short-lived as the police arrive at the wedding and arrest Georgia for the murder of Cynthia's husband Tom, an act that Austin had witnessed her commit a few episodes earlier while playing hide-and-seek with Zach. So how will Georgia get herself out of this mess? How will Ginny react to knowing her mother killed someone else? Confirmed to her when Austin heartbreakingly says he didn't tell anyone about what he saw as the police dragged Georgia away. Given that the murders were one of the few aspects of her past that Georgia had not disclosed to Paul, the question remains as to whether he can forgive her and stay with her despite this devastating news. What could Season 3 be about? With Georgia's arrest, there are several narrative threads that the show could explore moving forward. These include the potential ways in which Georgia could avoid going to jail, whether Paul will continue to support her and their children, and how this might impact his re-election prospects. The show will also have to tackle the question of Gil's continued fight for custody of Austin and how he might try to use George's arrest to his advantage. Furthermore, the show will have to balance its various core relationships, including Ginny and Marcus's evolving friendship or relationship, as well as the growing attraction between Georgia and Joe. All of these narrative threads will add complexity to the show's overarching storyline and provide ample material for future episodes. Lampert has assured fans that there's a plan to balance all of the surprises the creative team has in store for Season 3. I think it's this idea that the show is going to look really different in Season 3, if we were to get one, because this was a woman who was a superhero at what she did, and now she's been caught. It's almost like Superman got taken down. We'll see if she can get out of this mess she's found herself in, she said of Georgia's arrest. The creator also spilled on some of the conflicts that's been set up, including which parent or step-parent will take over the care of Ginny and Austin. I think we've set up a lot of really great possibilities in the sense that, just playing out hypotheticals, if George is being charged with this crime, we have Zion. He's Ginny's dad. We have Gil in the picture now. I think previous to this, he had no chance at custody because he was a convicted felon. But who knows now? And we've got Paul, who's the stepdad. We have so many golden possibilities for storytelling based on how rich these characters are and based on how many surprises we want to throw into Season 3 that I'm being coy about. But we do have it planned out, she said. What about the cast? There isn't an official cast list because the show hasn't been renewed yet. However, we have an idea of who could possibly return. Obviously, Antonio Gentry as Ginny, Brianne Howie as Georgia, and Diesel La Torraca as Austin will reprise their roles as the Miller family. Here's who else we believe could return in the third season. Nathan Mitchell as Zion Miller, Scott Porter as Mayor Paul Randolph, Raymond A. Black as Joe, Felix Millard as Marcus Baker, Sarah Weisglass as Max Baker, Aaron Ashmore as Gil Timmons, Sabrina Gurdovich as Cynthia Fuller, Alex Mallory Jr. as P.I. Gabriel Cordova, Nikki Rommel as teenage Georgia Miller, and other core cast members. And we can also expect some new cast additions. What do you think about Netflix's Ginny and Georgia? Are you waiting for Season 3? Let us know in the comments below.